Quadratic formula. The quadratic formula is a method or a rule that you can use it to solve the quadratic equation. And the form of the quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. A, coefficient of x squared, which is 1 in this case. B is the coefficient of x, and c is the absolute value or the term without x. Here is the proof of the quadratic equation, but you don't need to write it each time. Quadratic equation is a method of solving the quadratic equation as we said. For example, if you have equation x squared plus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. You can solve it by factorization, opening two brackets, searching about two numbers, the product is 6, 2 and 3, and the sum is 5. By solving these two brackets, x plus 2 is equal to 0 and x is equal to negative 3. So the two roots of this equation are negative 2 and negative 3. And also, without factorization, you can use the quadratic formula. A is the coefficient of x squared. B is the coefficient of x. C is the absolute value, the term without x squared or without x. Let's plug in the values together. X is equal negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Negative b, so it's negative 5. B squared, which is 5 squared, minus 4 by 1 by 6, which is 24. So 25 minus 24 divided by 2, which is equal negative or positive 1. So negative 5 plus 1 over 2 will give me the first value of x. And negative 5 minus 1 divided by 2 will give me the second value of x. So the first value is negative 2 and the second value is negative 3. Notice that if the value below the denominator or the value of b squared minus 4ac is smaller than 0, which means negative, and we don't have a root for negative, it means that this equation doesn't have a real value. It might have a complex or imaginary values, but it doesn't have a real value. And it's not necessary for all the values to be a whole number or integers, as we will see in our first and second example. Before we are solving this equation, I may ask myself, what are the two numbers that their product is 7 and the difference or the sum is 3? You will not figure it out. So it's better for you to use the quadratic formula. X is equal negative b plus or minus the root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. A is 1, b is negative 3, and take care of the sign of each element. Don't write it as 3. And c is negative 7. So let's plug in the values. X is equal negative multiplied by negative 3, so it's a positive 3. Plus or minus negative 3 squared is 9. Doesn't matter here because negative and the power is even is positive. Minus 4 by 1 by c, which is negative 7, divided by 2 times 1. So x is equal 3 plus or minus root negative multiplied by negative is positive, 9 plus 28 divided by 2. So it's a 3 plus or minus root of 37 divided by 2. And as we know, 37 is a prime number, so it doesn't have a root. So we can write the two roots as 3 plus root of 37 divided by 2, and x2 as 3 minus root of 37 divided by 2. The second one, a is equal to 3, coefficient of x squared, b is equal to negative 11, and c is equal to 14. Of course, this is wrong. And why is that? Because the equation is not equal to 0. So the first step, you should make sure that the equation of the second degree is arranged and it's equal to 0. So by moving positive 4 inside, so 3x squared minus 11x, and positive 14 minus 4 is positive 10 is equal to 0. So A is equal to 3, B is equal to negative 11, and C is equal to 10. So X is equal. Here we have the quadratic formula written. So it's negative B, which is 11, plus or minus 11 squared, which is 121, minus 4 by 3, 4AC by 10, divided by 2 by 3. So X is equal 11 plus or minus root of 121 minus 4 by 3 is 12. 12 multiplied by 10 is 120. So it's 11 plus or minus root of 1, which is 1, divided by 6. So the first root is 11 minus 1 divided by 6, which is equal 10 over 6. You can simplify it to 5 over 3 after dividing the numerator and the denominator by 2. And the second one is 11 plus 1 divided by 6, which is 12 divided by 6, which is 2. Now, you try to solve this example. And to give you a hint or help, here is the quadratic formula. Let's check your answer. A is equal to 3, B is equal to negative 5, and C is equal to negative 1, since the equation is arranged and equal to 0. So X is equal 5 plus or minus root of B squared, which is 25, minus 4 by 3 by negative 1, divided by 2 by 3. So X is equal 5 plus or minus root of 25 plus, and why it's positive, because negative by negative is positive, 12 divided by 6. So it's 5 plus or minus root of 37 divided by 6. You can write it as two roots. X1 is equal 5 plus root of 37 divided by 6, and X2 is 5 minus root of 37 divided by 6.